A few years ago, owning a thermal camera meant a rental agreement, a training course, and a bill that made your eyes water. Now, the 7 cameras in this video all fit in one hand, and the real gap between the cheapest and the most expensive one isn't the one you'd expect. Native sensor resolution, how small a temperature difference the detector can actually see, and whether the software lets you prove what you found to somebody else. Those 3 things decide everything. All the links are waiting for you down in the description. Let's dive in. The Topdon TC004 Mini is the one I'd hand to somebody who has never touched a thermal camera before. Underneath, there's a 128 by 128 detector, upscaled to 240 by 240, and it reads temperature differences under 40 millikelvin. What that means in practice is a little wild. It picks up the handprint you left on a wall a full minute after you walked away, and it'll tell you which of 2 identical light switches was flipped most recently just from the leftover warmth in the wiring. 15 hours of battery is the headline though, because you charge it on Sunday and forget about it for the rest of the week. The grip is rubberized and chunky, it shrugs off a 2-meter drop, and there's a tripod thread on the base for hands-free monitoring. It shoots stills rather than video, and moving files onto a computer is the fiddliest part of the experience. So think of it as a live diagnostic tool you point at things, and it'll never let you down. Strip that same idea down to almost nothing, and you land on the Acumem's GT14S, a camera that weighs 240 grams. That number sounds abstract until you spend 20 minutes scanning a ceiling with your arm above your head. It reads from -4 all the way up to 1022 degrees Fahrenheit, holds 14 hours of runtime, and pulls a neat trick the others don't bother with: a dedicated thermometer mode. One button and the full thermal scene collapses into a straight point-and-shoot reading, which is perfect for checking whether the oven really hit the temperature it claims. The 50-degree field of view is wide, so you sweep a whole wall in one pass instead of 3. Where the Topdon rewards patience and detail, this one rewards speed. The automatic scaling is eager, meaning a hot bulb at the edge of the frame will flatten the subtler gradients, so keep strong heat sources out of shot, and the sensitivity underneath is better than the price suggests. Now, if the thing holding you back is not seeing where the hot spot physically is, the HSF Tools HF96 solves that with a laser pointer built into the body. Sounds simple. It changes everything in a dark crawl space because the dot on the wall and the blob on the screen are the same place. No guesswork, no crawling back and forth. Think about hunting a leak in a loft at night with a flashlight in your teeth. You find a cold blob on screen, you tag it with the laser, you mark the joist, and you're out in 5 minutes. 11 hours of runtime, 25 Hz refresh so the image never tears as you pan, and a USB cast function that throws the live feed onto a laptop screen, which is a genuinely clever way to show a client a damp patch instead of describing it. The 96 by 96 sensor is upscaled to 240 by 240, and it's built for broad targets: missing insulation, underfloor heating runs, water tracking through drywall. Go for the V version with the visual camera if you can, because Fusion mode gives you the outlines that make a thermal image readable at a glance. Here's where the whole video changes gear, because everything up to now has been about seeing heat, and the Foxwell RT280 Pro is about proving it. The detector is a native 256 by 192, upscaled to 512 by 384, paired with a 2-megapixel visual camera and 32 gigabytes of storage that holds north of 20,000 images. It records thermal video, which almost nothing at this level does, and that matters more than it sounds. A relay that overheats only under load, a coolant leak spreading across a block, a fuse that warms up 90 seconds after you turn the key, none of that shows up in a photo. Then you pull it into the desktop software and add spot, line, and area measurements after the fact. Build a 3D thermal map and export a report with your findings on it. Mechanics use this to catch a misfiring cylinder from the temperature spread across an exhaust manifold, sitting in the bay with the engine idling, no disassembly. The analysis suite is Windows only, so Mac owners will want a bootcamp partition or a different workflow. Which brings me to the camera that argues resolution isn't the whole story. The Flir C5 Compact runs a 160 by 120 sensor, lower on paper than half of this list, and it still produces the most readable images here. The reason is MSX, which takes the 5-megapixel visual camera, extracts the hard edges from it, and etches them straight into the thermal picture in real time. Breaker labels become legible. Pipe outlines appear. You stop guessing which component you're looking at. Add Wi-Fi syncing to the Flir Ignite cloud, and a colleague across town opens your scan before you've packed the van. which for a team doing preventative maintenance is a huge amount of admin gone. It's pocket-sized, drop-rated, and the 3.5-inch touchscreen behaves like a phone. Boot up takes a moment and the battery is sealed inside. So this is a tool for people who value clarity and workflow over raw specs. And on that promise, it delivers completely. The Thermal Master. Thor 002 goes in exactly the opposite direction. It's a pistol grip slab roughly the size of a barcode scanner, and reviewers have compared holding it to carrying Thor's hammer around a job site, which is fair and also secretly part of the appeal. What you get for the bulk is spectacular. A native 256 by 192 sensor, 35 millikelvin sensitivity, and a 640 by 480 IPS screen that's big enough to finish the analysis on the spot instead of exporting anything. It records video with audio through a noise-reducing microphone, so you narrate findings straight into the clip as you walk a building, which beats typing notes on a phone with cold hands. Blend the visual and thermal layers anywhere from 0 to 100%, set multi-point alarms, mount it on a tripod, and let it watch a bearing for 3 hours until something crosses your threshold. The minimum focus distance is 30 centimeters, so circuit board work needs a macro lens it doesn't have, but for everything at arm's length and beyond, it's phenomenal value. Last one, and the HSF Tools F2W takes the cleanest position of the group. No visual camera at all. Everything spent on the infrared side. 256 by 192 native upscaled to 640 by 480 under 40 millikelvin, which resolves differences as fine as 0.04 of a degree. That sensitivity plus a pure thermal feed makes it startlingly good over distance, picking up body heat at 164 feet in total darkness, so it doubles as a serious nighttime property tool. 16 gigabytes of internal storage, no memory card to lose, Wi-Fi straight to your phone, and a scheduled capture mode that shoots on a timer while it sits on a tripod, which is how you catch a fault that only appears after 2 hours under load. A dedicated button cycles 7 color palettes without menu diving. Reading a pure thermal image takes a trained eye, so if you want the visual overlay, there's a dual lens version of the same camera waiting for you. So, where do you land? If you want a first camera that's tough, lasts all week, and costs the least to try, the Acumem's GT14S and the Topdon TC004 Mini are your two, with the Topdon winning on sensitivity and build, and the Acumem's on sheer lightness. For showing findings to clients on site, the HSF Tools HF96 and its laser pointer and screencasting are hard to beat. Automotive and industrial work with real documentation behind it belongs to the Foxwell RT280 Pro. Inspectors working in a team who need images anyone can read want the Flir C5 Compact. If you'd rather have the biggest screen, video with voice notes and post-capture editing, the Thermal Master Thor 002 is unmatched for what it costs. And for long-range surveying and unattended time-lapse monitoring, take the HSF Tools F2W. Every link is down in the description, so grab whichever one fits your work. Tell me in the comments what you're planning to point it at first.